my pleasure to introduce Glenn Youngkin, who's going to introduce Harold. The people of Virginia are ready for a change. The candidates in front of you are ready to deliver that change. Who better to rebuild our economy and get Virginia going in the right direction than a proven business leader like our candidate for governor, Glenn Youngkin. Glenn, all right, go ahead. He's also a man who gets it. He knows what servant leadership is about, and he knows what serving the people is about. He knows what representing people is about versus the political activists that we've unfortunately got in office now. Glenn Youngkin's a successful business leader, political outsider, and Christian conservative who can turn the Commonwealth around. From his first job washing dishes and frying eggs at a diner in Virginia Beach, Glenn has embraced hard work. As the former co-CEO of Carlyle, Glenn started with the company when it was a small firm over 25 years ago. Along the way, he helped it grow into one of the leading investment firms in the world, an extremely successful company that employed nearly 2,000 people and managed assets in excess of $230 billion, nearly 4 times the size of Virginia's yearly budget. So this man knows how to work a budget. The people of Virginia are ready for change. Glenn has what it takes to be competitive in Northern Virginia. He has what it takes to win statewide. He's a proud father, husband, Christian, and businessman. Please join me in a rousing welcome for our great governor.
Everybody, this is much better than 10 people in a diner in Virginia Beach. This is outstanding. I hope everybody recognizes what's going on, because it's pretty special right now. 14 weeks ago, I got in a Suburban and I started driving. And over 14 weeks, we covered 25,000 miles. And just in case you didn't know how far that was, if you start on the equator, you make it all the way around the world. We met with tens of thousands of Virginians. We met in people's homes. We met in diners. We met in barns. We met in fields. And I heard the same thing over and over and over again. Virginia is in trouble. We must rescue her. We are going to... matter whether I was at a libertarian breakfast or a Tea Party lunch or with a group of forever Trumpers or a group of never Trumpers or a group of single-issue voters. And today, over the last 10 days, I'll tell you, with a group of independents and a group of Democrats, I hear over and over and over again, we cannot afford a third term of the McAuliffe-Northam administration, and we are going to take back our country. So I hope you feel it. I know when every one of you walked in here tonight, you said, wait a minute, there's more people in here than I've ever seen. And this is happening in every room, in every building across the Commonwealth. Something historic is happening. Something new. Something that has people moving because we have a movement. And it's not about me, it's about us. It's about us. Friends, it is overwhelming. And I will tell you, I fully agree with the Washington Post on Monday morning that we absolutely have a surprisingly good chance of winning in November. Washington Post that said that. Unbelievable. But saying thank you for your kind words, because it will not be a lonely victory. We have a lot of work to do. Boy, we have an amazing ticket. Winsome and Jason and I are already working together. And I will tell you, we are going to bring at least 6 new members of our House of Delegates, and we are going to take back our House of Delegates. And right here, in the 40th district, is one of them. Harold Pion came to this country as a young boy. And boy, did he make a difference. People talk about the American dream. Well, here it is. Here it is. He went to school and earned more degrees than we have hands. He excelled in his professional life. And he worked tirelessly for his community. And for over 30 years, he has worked to get Republicans elected. Well, friends, it's time we go to work and get Harold elected. Because there's a different Virginia in front of us. It's a different Virginia in front of us. There's a Virginia that, in fact, is the best place to live and work and raise a family. And sadly, it's not that right now. There's a Virginia where all of our children want to live. There's a Virginia that's the best place to start a business. There's a Virginia that's the best place to absolutely exercise our God-given right to worship God. There's a Virginia that brings us together, not separate us. And there is absolutely a Virginia that becomes the standard of excellence for this country, where people look at us and say, the best schools are there, the best businesses are there, the best lifestyle is there. People who I respect live there. And we are all knowing that Virginia is a place that we will be proud again to call home. But we know that elections have consequences. And the consequences for Virginians over the last 8 years have been crushing. They have been crushing. And here we are again, marching to election season, which will start on September 17th, for 45 days. And during that election season, Virginians will have a choice. And I believe Virginians will have a choice between truth and untruth. We will have to choose whether we think the best way to reinvigorate and rebuild this great economy is through what Terry McAuliffe will be offering, which is to take away right to work and ask every Virginian to pay part of their wages to his union boss friends, to have centralized government pick winners and losers, and have a business environment that is so covered with red tape that over the course of the last 12 months, 25% of Virginia's businesses have either gone permanently out of business or been temporarily closed. Or a different vision, where in fact we build a thriving economy based on the innovation that's inherent in all Virginians, where red tape is cut back, where cost of business goes down, and where the dreams that entrepreneurs have are fulfilled. Where the cost of living now is no longer the highest among our peer states, but we work to bring it down to the lowest. And friends, where Virginia's most prized possession, our families, choose to stay here as opposed to moving away. Friends, we'll have a choice. Are we going to go with Terry McAuliffe and his left liberal friends? Who absolutely want our children in our schools to first be shut out unnecessarily and not be allowed to attend school? To want to teach our children what to think as opposed to how to think? To absolutely tell our children that we're going to put all of you in the broken down lane and not allow you to run as fast as you can. and achieve your dreams? Or are we going to choose a Virginia that believes that the fundamental opportunity in front of our children should be unleashed by allowing them to run as fast as they can, by not teaching critical race theory in our schools? By, yes, teaching accelerated math all the way up through the by awarding advanced diplomas to students who achieve them. Friends, Virginia's schools were the reason so many people came to Virginia. And Terry McAuliffe and Ralph Northam want to dismantle them. And when I'm working for you as your governor, we are absolutely not just going to put them back together, but put Virginia schools and our children back where they belong as the best education in America. That's what we're doing. Will Virginians choose public safety that is undermined every moment, at every opportunity, to be defunded, to take away protections against frivolous civil lawsuits in the form of what we call qualified immunity, to actually force our best to retire, and to recognize that rising crime rates are just okay? Or are Virginians going to choose a different path forward, to invest in law enforcement, to create the best law enforcement in our country, to protect qualified immunity, to make sure the most experienced law enforcement heroes stay on the police force, to not only protect all of us, but to teach and train all of those that want to be in law enforcement, as opposed to today where we cannot even fill up our academies? Friends, there is a real distinction between what Terry McAuliffe and his left liberal friends are going to offer and what we, the people, stand for. And when I have the great opportunity to go work for all of you, we are going to get Virginia moving again. It is not lost on me, the gravity of the office for which I'm running. It's an office that was held by Thomas Jefferson. It's an office that was held by John Monroe. It's an office that is in a unique place in our country, because in 4 years, you got to go to work and get things done. I have a 30-year business career. I'm not a politician. I live my life delivering results, not empty promises. And I want you to know that the values that underpin Virginia, the history that puts us all here as Virginians, the opportunity to put Virginia back in her place, to establish Virginia as the standard of excellence for our country, is absolutely embodied in all of us. Let's not forget, Thomas Jefferson wrote the Declaration of Independence. James Madison wrote the Constitution. And Patrick Henry stood up and said, without a Bill of Rights, we will not ratify that Constitution. Here, use Virginians. My friend George Mason wrote it. And that's exactly what they did. Every liberty that we hold dear in this country today started today on paper here in Virginia. And friends, here we go again. Because we have an opportunity right now to come together like never before. Republicans, independents, Democrats, to stand up against the liberal left and say, no, that is not the future that we want for our great Commonwealth, for our children and our grandchildren. We're going to stand up for that most revolutionary idea that was birthed here in Virginia, that all men and women are created equal. That's what I'm saying. Together, absolutely together. Not me, Winsome, and Jason. Not 6 new delegates. But all of us are going to come together, and we are going to change the future of this Commonwealth, and we're going to change the future of our country. That's what's at stake. That's why I'm going to work for all of you. That's why I quit my job. And that's why every moment I wake up, I feel something special happen. So here we go, right here and now, to commit ourselves, right here on May 20th, to commit ourselves, to come together, to not just win in November, but to do the jobs necessary along the way, to volunteer, to be poll watchers, to be door knockers, to be election officials, to work like crazy to get out the vote. Because, folks, something special is happening. Now, as I said earlier, this will not be a lonely victory for me. This will not be a lonely victory for me. And what I cannot wait to do is to get in a car together and drive down 95 with the next House of Delegates leader from the 40th District, Harold Pyle.